I'm going to do a layout today for one of my weeklies, and I'm going to do the header with one of our stencils called the Jumbo Typography #1. And this is our scrolly font that we have. It is a sizable one, so to get all of the capital letters, we have 2 large stencils, and then the lowercase we're able to fit on 1 stencil. So today I'm going to do the word August, and I know about where I want it to be positioned in my album, so I'm going to go ahead and start putting that down. One thing about our alphabets is they always are on the plastic straight up and down. So if you're unsure if this scroll A is positioned correctly, make sure that you're lined up or at least parallel to a series of dots or grid, whichever album you're using. You could do it if you have lines, but that will just help you make sure that it is straight. I'm using a mechanical pencil. It doesn't have a very thin lead. I wish it did, because some of these little areas are very tiny. But we're doing pencil because we're going to follow up with ink. So this is just putting a guide down. If you press hard, sometimes you can get your pencil to go in between those tiny areas. And so that's basically what I get for, I'll lift it up and see if you can see that better. So it's an idea of where I'm going to put my ink. So the rest of this, I'm going to position the rest of the word August a little higher. This would be the bottom of the letter, but I think I'm going to raise it up a grid because I'm going to put the to and from date for the week underneath it, and I want to save some of my area. So I'm going to, I just have a slight line there to show me where I want to position my U, and I'm going to make sure that my U is sitting, and this would be the bottom of the U, not here. This is the bottom of the U. It's kind of like a bounce lettering style. So I can see my A through here. It goes right there. And so I positioned my U over about 1/8 of an inch, maybe 1/4 of an inch. And just traced it on like that. So, and then G. And I can see the tail of that U coming right there, so I'm just going to have that butt up against the G. G. And then another U. Maybe more line work there. And you see the scroll of the G? That's about where I want my U to line up again, and sit that U on the line. Make sure I'm straight by looking at where my dots are. There. Now the S is a little tricky because it is dropped below the line, and so what I do is I look at the letters next to it, and the T is sitting on my line, and I can see the U, the curly Q of the U is right under there. So I feel pretty good about where I have that S positioned. So there's that. Now the T on the stencil is a little bit further away from the S than I would like, so I learned this on the last time. I'm going to bring it in because it was a little difficult to position the way it looked good in my eyes. It's one reason, and once again, I think it's too far over. So I find, well, that's why I love doing it in pencil first, because I'm going to do a line about where I want that side of the T to head. I don't know why I have trouble with T's. They should be easy. There we go. Like that. And I'm straight here, so. Much better. Like that. So now you've got kind of, there you go, a pretty good idea of what that word's going to look like. And now we're going to do it in ink. Or, of course, your color pencil. I like to use a thinner tip on this. I'm using a 1 in the Micron Pigma. And, well, just follow along and I will try to explain as I go. I look at the A as if I am writing it myself. So I look at how my pen would be on the page, and that the first of my stroke would probably be right here if I'm looking at this font. So I'm going to go up, over, make a curly Q, and go down like that. And then this is a flourish, and it's going to go like that. So we're just going to, and if it helps you to do all that before in pencil, that's great. So I am going to just go ahead and lay my ink in. You can just go ahead and cross it over if you want to. I like to leave a gap so that when I do the downstroke, it sort of looks like it lays on top. There, now I'm going to do the fat part of that. And there. I'm going to cross my A. And right here is where that A ended, but I'm going to just add a little curly Q. Okay, here's the U, and that's the downstroke, so that would be the thicker one. Another downstroke, and up is thin, down is fat. The G, down is fat. So go back in and do your faux calligraphy. Up, down is fat, up is thin. Now the way this lines up, it looks like the tail of that U would be the beginning of the S, so I'm going to make it do that. It's my downstroke. There. And then the T just stands alone. There. And that's how I would use our Jumbo Typography #1 stencil to help you create a script and perhaps bounce lettering style title. So, and then I'm just going to go in and erase my lines. And it looks like I drew it all myself, like that. Okay. There we go, and then of course I'm going to add some color to it. Shading, I always go over my first layer, which was the tan, with my second layer, and then draw the second layer color down further. It just helps blend it out. And my final color will be my yellow. There, thanks.